It's Wednesday, the 8th of April. My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel. It's time for another update on the IHME data. How are those projections looking? And today, a significant change in the overall projections for the projected number of deaths in the United States by 4 August, a 25% change to the better. Let's go inside and take a look at the data. I got some new OBS, Open Broadcaster Source software I'm using today, which will help speed up my editing process. So let's check it out. Okay, welcome to the new OBS software where I can edit on the fly and record at the same time. There's my green screen, white screen of the backyard during the recent snowstorm. Let's do a quick transition, and there's yours truly in the Blanco Lirio command post. Let's get right to the data here. IHME data. Bring it up here like that and hit the transition. Okay, here we are. Let's go straight away to the U.S. Last updated 8 April, 3 days until the peak resource for the overall for the United States. This bed shortage data is calculated data. It's not apparently updated for actual events that are happening out in the field. But the important thing that we're tracking on all this here on this channel is this number here, the total number of deaths projected by 4 August of 2020. And look at that, a 25% change from just 2 days ago down to 60,415 projected deaths. There we go. Here was the data just a couple days ago and then a couple days before that. So significant changes in the projections as social distancing is working. Now let's look at the deaths per day. 7 April, yesterday, 1,943 deaths in one day, up significantly from April 6th, but down a little bit from April 5th. So stepping our way up towards the peak. Now let's switch over to New York City. New York City, where they were a little bit late with their stay-at-home order, is reaching the peak. Look, they're there. They're peaking out right now, recently updated. Again, this bed data, the solid purple line and the solid green line, has not much changed on these graphs, whereas in reality, they're adding beds, adding capacity as needs be. 1 day until projected peak. 791 deaths yesterday, 7 April, across the state of New York, up from 539 the day before and 630. Look how much the New York data drives the entire United States data. That same notch was in the U.S. data for a total of 5,489 deaths out of the state of New York. Now let's look at California, where they've been significantly flattening the curve because they got on this stay-at-home order on the 19th, several days earlier. It made a significant difference in the flattening of the curve. No problem with resources. But the problem with flattening the curve is you delay the economic pain. We got 7 days until the projected peak here in California. 52 deaths yesterday, and it's zigzagging its way on up towards the peak, for a total of 432 deaths out of California, with a projected of 1,611 by 4 August. One other thing I can do with this OBS data, I can bring anything into the program, including a YouTube video. So we want to look at what Dr. Christopher Murray had to say back on 26 March about his IHME data. Let's get him on here and
We
go.
expect the epidemic to continue with increased bed days, ICU bed days, right through to the end of May. We expect, judging by our criteria of less than 10 deaths a day, that the epidemic in the U.S. will be meeting that criteria of ending by the first week of June. That, of course, doesn't mean that there may not be a return of COVID-19 in the fall in a second wave. That's a very different topic. But over the totality of the next 4 months that we have modeled, we think that this is going to have a quite profound effect on mortality, leading to, our best estimate is about 81,000 deaths, and it could be much higher depending on other circumstances.
So that's what Chris had to say back on 26 March. We're down to a projection of about 60,000 deaths. So significant change. Social distancing is working. Now let's pull up the New York Times logarithmic charts. We talked about the importance of logarithmic charts in showing the rate of change. Updated 8 April. Around the world, various countries continue to flatten out. Italy doubling every 2 days. This is the death rate. Spain doubling every 11 days. And here in the U.S., doubling every 4 days. So just beginning to reach that shoulder of the peak overall here in the United States. Remember, logarithmic charts, tenfold increase here on the vertical axis, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Gives us these slopes, the tangent to the curve, which gives you the rate of doubling, allows you to see the rate of doubling easier. Go down to the states. New York, doubling every 4 days. Was doubling every 2 days. And where did California go? California doubling every 6 days, and Washington every 8 days. Again, the more we flatten the curve, the longer we delay the economic impact. So that's what the data looks like today. I hope this gives you a better understanding. Stay tuned. We're going to get a live broadcast. I'm going to go over to Petter's channel, Mentor Pilot, today at noon, 2000 hours Universal Time. That should be noon Pacific Time. Hook up with Petter, see what's going on over there. The airline industry, it's flat on its tail. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. See you here. We'll get this OBS worked out such that we can be able to do live broadcasts in the future, very near future. See you here.